Huh? 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 Huh?
What is going on here? Is a dog running for governor of Tokyo? Who's the dude in the blue suit? And why do they have so many posters? Let's find out. Hello, and welcome to Japan Matters, a YouTube channel in which we discuss various matters related to Japan. I'm Jeffrey Hall, a lecturer in Japanese studies at Kanda University of International Studies outside of Tokyo, Japan. In this video, we'll be discussing the chaotic situation going on right now in the Tokyo gubernatorial election. This is an election in which one political party, a party that only gets about 2% of the national vote in Japanese elections, has managed to hijack the election poster system. The political party in question is known as the Party to Protect the People from NHK. It's a political party founded by Tachibana Takashi, a former employee of Japan's public broadcaster, NHK. He thinks that NHK is corrupt and he wants people to stop paying its annual subscription fee. Here's a photo of him that I took back in 2020 during an election for the upper house where he was giving a speech in Akihabara about how much he dislikes NHK. He wants to scramble the transmissions of it and basically prevent people from being forced to pay their subscription fees. But that's not all the party's about. Although he calls his party centrist, it has endorsed political candidates that could be classified as part of Japan's far right, such as YouTubers and other people associated with hate groups such as Zai Tokukai. And in the 2024 Tokyo gubernatorial election, the NHK Party is running 24 candidates, as I said, and none of them have any realistic chance of winning. So why are they doing this? Well, it's because they want to hijack the election poster boards. They say on their website, let's hijack election poster boards, break the norms of election poster boards. If you remember from one of my previous videos, I noted that in Japanese elections, every candidate gets equal space on public boards throughout the election district. And if you run 24 candidates, that means you get 24 spaces on this board. But they're not running these candidates so that they could win. Instead, they're offering a deal to their supporters, or to anyone really. You can pay 5,000 yen to 25,000 yen, which is between $31 and $155, with early bird purchasers paying the lower prices and people who are paying in the middle of the election paying the top price. And then they get 24 slots on a single poster board. And they can put up any posters they want as long as those posters don't break Japanese laws by encouraging crimes and other illegal activities. And in the case of Japan, it's pretty open about what you can put on poster boards. This is one of these issues where the government wants people to have a lot of freedom of speech during elections. And so they're offering this deal where you can put up posters saying almost anything you want, 24 posters on a full board. This is what that would look like, and that's quite a lot of spaces. It's covering the outside and the bottom row of poster boards in the Tokyo gubernatorial election. Surprisingly, this is actually legal under Japanese election laws. Here's a tweet in which they called in April, months before the election, "We are looking for people who want to put up posters in Tokyo. Would you like to make yourself or the person you support famous?" It turns out, when somebody was writing Japanese election laws, they never imagined that such a scenario would actually take place. And they left this loophole that the NHK Party is now using for this plan. They're actually legally allowed to sell poster space to people who aren't even running in the election. Surprisingly, the economics of this sort of makes sense, theoretically at least. The cost to run a single candidate is about 3 million yen, or 19,000 US dollars at the time I'm recording this. And that would make the cost to run 24 candidates about 72 million yen, which is a lot of money for anybody in Japan, quite a lot of money. But election poster boards in Tokyo are plentiful. There's about 14,000 of them. So theoretically speaking, if the NHK Party were to successfully sell over half of the boards in Tokyo, they would earn back more money than they spent on election deposits. So, what kind of people would buy an election poster board? Who would want to put up 24 posters? Well, it's very similar to my previous video in which I pointed out that there are plenty of people who are willing to pay the 3 million yen, or $19,000, to run in the Tokyo gubernatorial election just so they can get attention. But in this case, it's people who don't have that much money who also want some form of attention, or maybe people who want to support the NHK Party politically. But here's one particular example. If somebody is a YouTuber and they want to promote their YouTube channel, they can pay the money for one poster board or multiple poster boards, and they can put up a poster of themselves with a QR code to their YouTube channel. And if they do this, it means that they have something looking like this, where they're surrounding the other candidates' posters with promotions for their YouTube channel. And this has actually happened. These are some tweets that share pictures of this. One is from Mr. Tachibana himself, the leader of the NHK Party, where he's noting that a YouTuber has this hand-drawn poster promoting their YouTube channel, and there's a little QR code on there, as you can see. Another one here on the right is a tweet that notes that a YouTuber and that YouTuber's friends have put up a poster that has a QR code to their YouTube channel. And in this case, this YouTuber is a supporter of the NHK Party, so it doubles as a donation to the political party that they like. But there's also people who, don't really have any political meaning to put up their posters. For example, there are people who maybe want to put up pictures of their cats or links to their YouTube channel about their pets. And this has been happening, actually. This is a visualization of what this would look like, where you'd have these 24 cat faces on posters. And it's real. This is one example. This is from Shinkoiwa Station in Tokyo. Somebody shared this tweet that shows pictures of cats, although in this case, there doesn't appear to be a link to a YouTube channel, so it's not promoting YouTube, it's just promoting their adorable cats. Another kind of person who might want to promote themselves is an idol or a musician. So they could pay money, they could put up a poster with their QR code, and they would have a very cool looking spread of advertisements for themselves in some very public area where a lot of people walk around. If they can claim a good spot ahead of time, they will get thousands of people to see their poster. And there's actually an example of this. This is Super Macaroni Salad, a group that shared on Twitter images of themselves putting up poster boards promoting their band. And they also have a QR code that leads to their music video in which they're wearing clown makeup. So if you want to see that, you can pause the video right now and scan it. Otherwise, let's move on. Another type of person who might want to promote themselves are hosts who work at hosts clubs in Tokyo. And there have been examples of this. A guy who wants people to know that he's a popular host puts up a poster. If they put it up in an area near host clubs, there'll be a lot of attention for these kind of posters. And there was actually a dude who did this. He was a host, and he paid for poster board space from the NHK Party in Kabukicho, an area of Tokyo that has a lot of host clubs. Unfortunately for him, somebody was not a fan of his posters, and they vandalized them. The media noted that other parties' posters were not vandalized, only the NHK Party slots where this host's poster boards were vandalized. I wonder why. Another weird example that has nothing to do with politics and apparently nothing to do with self-promotion is this poster board near Shinkoiwa Station that has illustrations of cute little animals on it. There does not appear to be any QR code or any text on these posters aside from the legal text maybe at the bottom. And so it's very mysterious why somebody would pay money, but I guess they just wanted it for a laugh, or maybe they just liked the artwork. There's also an example of bug posters that have been put up. Bugs are something that, there are a lot of fans of in Japan. There are people who collect bugs, who catch bugs. And in this case, the posters are advertising the different types of insects and bugs that exist in Japan. And you can see in this actual photo that they are bugs around the edges of the actual human candidates who are running seriously and unseriously for governor of Tokyo. However, not all of the posters have been fun and silly and unserious. Some of them have had quite questionable messages on them, possibly even illegal messages on them. On the left, we have an example of somebody who shared a photo of discriminatory messages against Burakumin that were left on one NHK poster board slot area in Tokyo. And in response to this, NHK Party leader Tachibana actually said that he was going to remove the posters. So perhaps he didn't know that the person in question was putting up these posters. Another example are posters that were put up near Korean schools or in Koreatown in Tokyo. And these posters were demanding that North Korea return Japanese citizens who were abducted and also pressing Japan's territorial claims to disputed territories. And some people have noted that this is kind of a type of intimidation against school children if this is put right in front of their schools. However, I don't think it actually breaks any Japanese laws, so the posters have been left up. These posters have also received attention in the Korean media. It should be noted that in front of the school these posters were placed at, it was actually a South Korean school, not a North Korean school, which doesn't really make much sense. South Korea didn't abduct those people. There have also been other issues that could lead to legal trouble. For example, the police warned the NHK Party about a set of posters that were promoting an adult entertainment business, some kind of sex business. And this type of advertisement is strictly regulated under Japanese law, so it's not okay to put on an election poster. And there's also issues of whether or not certain posters are defamatory against people, or whether or not certain posters are illegally promoting businesses. So we really don't know how this is going to develop until after the election, when usually if some law has been violated, police will act. But sometimes they just get warnings and nothing happens. Sometimes police wait until the election period is over and then they do take action. So I'm sure many of you are reaching this point in the video and you're wondering to yourself, what about the big question, Jeff? The question you haven't answered. Are they making enough money to cover their costs? Well, the other day I spent a few hours walking around parts of Tokyo looking at NHK poster board placements, and the answer is probably no. From what I've seen, most of the poster boards are either empty or they contain official NHK Party posters, which have either Mr. Tachibana or his dog, Sasuke, the dog from the beginning of the video. And there weren't really that many poster boards up that were purchased by other people. Although if you do go to a website that looks like it's run by the NHK Party, it appears that they have sold quite a bit of poster space. However, it's nowhere near the amount they need to make their money back. We should, though, perhaps consider another motivation for the NHK Party. Even if they don't make their money back through selling these poster board spaces, they could be getting attention in other valuable ways. For example, every Japanese election candidate gets 6 minutes of TV time to give an election speech. And in this case, the NHK Party has 24 candidates, so each of them receives a speech on television. So they take up about half of the time of all of the candidates in this election speaking on TV. That's hours. Also, they get space in the newspaper. Every candidate gets equal newspaper space, and the NHK Party is receiving equal space there for half of the candidates. And half of these candidates in the election have advertisements that feature Tachibana's name in letters bigger than their own, with messages of support for the party. So maybe this could result in further people coming to support the party or perhaps donating money to the party. But I would guess that financially, this is going to be a significant loss for the NHK Party. To summarize what's been happening, this is a scheme in which one political party is paying money to run 24 candidates in an election where only one person can win, and none of these candidates have any chance at all of winning because they're from a fringe party that only gets about 2% of the vote. But it's not about winning. It's about selling poster board space. And this kind of poster board space can be sold under Japanese election law. There is a loophole that might be closed in the future, but right now this loophole is open and they're exploiting it. And one of the reasons why they're doing this is because they think there's too many election boards in Tokyo and it's a waste of taxpayer money. So by running this scheme that gets a lot of media attention, they hope that in the future, Tokyo will reduce the number of poster boards so that only certain major areas near stations have poster boards, and millions of yen aren't spent putting poster boards in very remote areas of Tokyo or in street corners where barely anybody walks by. And that's at least their justification for it. But I think that the Japanese government will probably change election laws after this to close the loophole, and Tokyo will probably keep its 14,000 poster boards. So I guess I'll wrap up the video at this point. The election isn't over yet, so we don't know what's going to happen in the very end. But if there is something interesting, I will make a follow-up video. Please do like and subscribe if you're interested in videos like this. I plan to put out more videos on a regular basis. So anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day.